Welcome to AwakeningYOU channel. If you appreciate what we do, please support us. Thank you. Dear ones, I am Archangel Michael. Continuing today with another of our teaching videos. But today I'm going to give you a task, to be completed tomorrow. It doesn't hurt to remember, right? The task completed today must be completed throughout the day tomorrow. So let's go. What will be the new task? A simple task. You have already been cleansing yourself with water, you have already changed the way you speak. So now, you will be grateful for everything that you hold in your hands, for every moment, you will be grateful. You don't need to direct your gratitude to anyone, just say, I'm grateful for this. Even if it is a moment of pain, a moment of suffering, because it is these moments that bring evolution. So be grateful for them, because you are being given the opportunity to evolve. In these most unfortunate moments, you often find yourself wondering why you are going through this. I already said, the question is not this, the question is not why, the question is, what lesson do I have to learn from this suffering? What is this suffering showing me? What do I need to change? What do I need to take action? What do I need to make a decision? This is the correct question. For no suffering comes from punishment. Suffering comes to make you realize, a little more intensely, what you have not yet realized. You have already experienced the problem several times, and let it go, without acting, without doing anything, without taking any action. Then it comes back, increasingly deeper, increasingly painful, so that you stop and analyze what needs to be done about that issue. So the task is over. As I said yesterday, today we are going to talk about the young people you have at home. Let's encompass, when I say young people, those who were born since the 90s. Because we are already starting a new lineage of children. So let's talk about these, of those who came from the 90s, who are the indigo children. Today, not so many children anymore. Most are already adults, with their own decisions, and following their own ideas. You no longer have control, nor as much influence as you had when they were children. So for many of you, fathers and mothers, it is difficult to see your children so far away from spirituality, so far away from this new world that is approaching. What I'm going to say here is not a rule. I cannot say that 100% of young people who were born in the 90s are outsiders. No, they're not. There are many young people who are from here, souls of the earth, souls with great baggage of experiences, of reincarnations. So how do you know if your children are, or rather, if your children were indigo children or not? There is also no rule, there is no way for me to say to you, well from now on, whoever is like this, was an indigo child. No, there's no way I can do that, there's no way I can say that. You just have to watch. Many already have a developed awareness of the world and the planet. Things that you never talked about, never went through, but that they bring up naturally from a young age. So this is a first clue. It was those children who always had a loving look at Gaia, for animals, for people, for the world. They were always kind, docile children, always ready to help others, and that is how they grew up. Today they are adults. Many remain with the same ideas, but they are not as active as you would like them to be. Many times, you awakened parents comment on some things, and they simply don't care, they question, they don't accept. And then you ask yourselves, but if children are so prepared, why are they so rebellious about the things we say? For their own protection. It's like I said, there is no rule. So it is not to say that all young people who were born at that time will be awakened, and this is for their own safety. Understand the following, these young people came from outside, they came with a very evolved mentality, to continue the new world, to make decisions, to, as rulers, to set an example for you, of what will happen in the next dimension. Then they will take action, a very important attitude. But what's the point of them remembering this now? Many remember and are active and aware of what they have to do. But there is a large majority, who still don't, who continue to think that this is all a great illusion, that none of the things you talk about really exist. But don't worry, I already commented on this a while ago, and I'm returning to this topic because it is necessary. Every day, your planet penetrates further into the photon belt. Your solar system is being increasingly bathed by these energies. Then the moment of their awakening is much closer. It's as if suddenly a great epidemic happened among young people, in which they will start saying things that you can't even imagine, and they will feel that they will need to take many actions to begin to fulfill the mission they have been entrusted with. So why is this topic coming back now? Because their lives will change. Many are already heads of families, they have even had children, but not all of them have awakened wives or husbands, and those who are next to them will not understand anything. So what can I say? What I have to say here today is to ask you to help them, to ask you to support them, because the decisions they will make will not be well accepted by many. Because they will have to dedicate themselves completely to this new path. They need to start preparing the planet for the coming event. They will all be united. No, I can't give details, I'm just saying that a lot will change. So when your kids start coming home and saying, I quit my job. I dropped out of school. I dropped everything, because I have a mission to fulfill. Don't think or demand that they are crazy. So, here is the moment, when you awakened parents, will have to support them, because they will be the pillars of the new world, the pillars of the event. So if you don't support them, there won't be any problem, because they will follow their path, regardless of what you do or don't do. So practically, I am addressing parents, because if wives and husbands are not awake, what I am saying here is not for them, it is for many parents who still have their children close to them, and who can guide them and help them. So it will be extremely important that you provide this support, without demands, without demanding that they have to continue their earthly life, because that is not their mission. Their mission is very different. So respect, accept, that's what you have to do, and be grateful for having a son with such a mission. For those fathers and mothers who have their indigo children, in truth you are not awakened for nothing, you are their guardians. So it's up to you to protect them, not push them away. If you are already awake, it is precisely so that you are strong enough to protect and support them. This is your role. Those young people who came from families whose parents or relatives are not awakened yet, will certainly move away, they will certainly look to someone else, who suffers from the same problem, for company and support. And many young people will gather. You will notice this, as if they form a great team, and in fact that is what they will be, a great team of light. So, responsible for those who were indigo children, but who continue to be indigo souls, accept your children with the mission they have, they are the pillars of the new world. So now I'm going to comment on what is happening to many young people, who are losing themselves in drugs, addiction, depression, illnesses, and are completely losing control and the meaning of life. Many people, because they did not have awakened parents, did not have good guidance, were always very withdrawn, a bit rebellious and ended up taking unhealthy paths in life, causing their protections and natural armor to be practically destroyed. And then what happens? The dark ones take advantage, because they are fully aware of everything I'm talking about here, they know that this great mass of young people, who were born at this time, are pillars of light. So they have to get in the way, they have to destroy them, so that none of what is being said happens, or at least, they get in the way a lot, because they know they have no way to stop what will happen, but since they lost, we're going to take down a bunch of young people, keep them in the third dimension. And that's what they have done. And then you see a large number of young people committing suicide, losing themselves in drugs, following paths that are completely contrary to the mission they were given. So those responsible for these young people are suffering in the flesh, their total unpreparedness, because they did not accept to evolve, did not accept to awaken, and there is the result. No, this is not a rule, because there are many of you who are awakened, and your children are on this path. So I'm not going to go into the merits of the issue here, but many of them, the vast majority, precisely because they feel out of place in this world, they feel different, they can't understand their own feelings, and they get lost. And often you, those responsible, don't realize this. You think it's out of rebellion, that your children aren't sick, and when you realize it, you've missed the point, and now you're crying, and desperately asking for help. No young person gets into drugs, addictions, if they have good guidance, if they have love, if they have dialogue, as they will not find in these subterfuges what they do not have at home. So many of you should do a mea culpa and analyze where you went wrong. Many, despite having a lot of love at home, a lot of dialogue, a lot of everything, got lost along the way. Then, depending on the environment, depending on friendships, depending on the paths chosen. In this case, you have nothing to do, nothing to regret, it was a choice of that soul. It's as if that soul had adapted so well here to the third dimension, that it got lost. So my brothers, we have many examples, many cases, many different young people. It's like I said, there is no rule, there is no way for us to label it, there is no way for you to simply know, you'll just have to wait. One more thing I say, the moment is closer than ever. First, because their own higher self is acting, already putting them on the path to reach the mission. The only thing that is important in this whole process is love, it is your love, who created you so that there is understanding, acceptance without judgment and without criticism. I understand that it will not be easy, as many will abandon their families, including children, and will be attacked, recriminated, judged, condemned, for having taken such an initiative. So this is what we are warning you about, before you judge them, understand why. Like I said, there are no rules. It's not because tomorrow a young man is going to abandon his family, that he is an awakened person, he is an indigo soul. There is no rule, you just have to be careful to understand the reasons. Because in the beginning, despite him awakening, he will still be quite confused, and will need a lot of support from those who created him, who have all the love for him. So it is not enough for you to say that you are worried, because they have not yet awakened. The problems are yet to come, because nothing will be easy, nothing will be easy for them, nor for you. That's why the subject is coming back today, so that you can be alert and ready, for a large mass of young people, who will suddenly take actions, in the eyes of many, rebellious, inconsequential, but on the contrary, they will be preparing their planet. Because they are not from here, they came from far away. They are very evolved souls, and will be ready to fulfill the mission. As you say, give to those who hurt. So my brothers, this was a warning video, for those who live with these young people. No, you don't have to worry every day, you just have to give love. Emanate a lot of love and a lot of light, so that this process of their awakening is as smooth as possible, because it will not be easy for them either. Don't think that it will be easy for them, because it won't be. So emanate a lot of light, emanate a lot of love to your children. Be ready to extend your hand whenever they need you, without judgment, without criticism. I am Archangel Michael. I am here, every day preparing you more and more for the journey that lies ahead. And I'm sure, you are following and creating an increasingly enlightened path.